There's orders now for 13 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. Who's going to make the start? Is it Brian Iriarte on pole position for the first time? They get rolling well. And Christian Daniel Jr. just to slot in behind.
The pack there, Morelli's made a climb up from outside the top 10, seemingly to about 10th or 9th position. All cleanly through. Look at the number 11 of David Gonzalez there, in 4th position now. He's carrying through that good form from Aragon.
Yeah, and all the riders, the rookies have done a lot better than the MotoGP guys.
Quality. You owe, well, you owe him a couple of Red Bulls, unfortunately.
No, right.
I was going to say, we can't do beers, too young, but there we go. There we have it. Well, hopefully the riders all up and okay. It was the number 40 of Gabriele Tessini and the 72 of David da Costa.
All there. Anyway, back to the leaders. There's the 51 of Brian Iriarte in 2nd place, being chased hard by Christian Daniel Jr., but Veda Pratama has the advantage as they drop down onto the start-finish straight for the first time.
Hakim Danish, who started
as they sweep right-handed and go up the hill. It's the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
There is Danish. 6th position for your series leader by 30 points.
54 of Veda Pratama. There's the 7th of Beñat Fernandez. As I say, he came back off 3rd, having only qualified 13th. He's up in the 7th place.
Quite a big group now for right back there. So that's Morelli up into 5th position now.
Yeah, and he can go well here. He's so frustrating because he has a great weekend and then a not such great weekend. He certainly is quick here. He was 3rd here, actually, first time out back in 2000.
Look at them all fan out, Peter. 5 riders, and it's Danish coming out on top into 1st.
He came from at least 7th place as he crossed the line there, back into 1st place.
And Iriarte is
absolutely superb. And Morelli, a bit loose there on the brakes, but he's collected it all up for the sweeping right-hander.
And Peter, that's Ramadipa in 4th position then. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Absolutely superb. Yes, the number 32, the 15-year-old Indonesian. Then Christian Daniel Jr. on the 70. But there, as you say, back in 8th place. Oh, that's a 50. That was actually 50 of Carter Thompson we saw in picture. And the 7th, I think Beñat Fernandez went up Ramadipa. Fanning out again, 7 on one side of the track, the 95 of Marc Marquez on the other, but it is the 7 of Beñat Fernandez who has the slightest advantage. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Again, 5 abreast, is it? 5th
first at the first corner once again then. So Iriarte is, as you were, basically a lap ago, but with Ben Fernandez and Morelli up the top once again. Mitani's joined the fray as well now. The number 34 into 7th position. For him and Christian Daniel Jr. gone very wide there, but it is Thompson who's unfortunately come off at the final turn.
I think he got it slowed down before he ran out of room.
Oh, and Morelli's got a long lap penalty for irresponsible riding, apparently.
Does he do it? I don't know. At the back there is the 13 of Hakim Danish. My goodness, that's close.
Danish got pushed back a little bit into the first turn of that one as Iriarte sides across the front of Morelli that time around into beyond in is that Correntaio, I think.
Hakim Danish, the points leader.
And then we've got Leo Ramersdorf and the number 5. Not seen much of him so far this weekend. He actually qualified down in 10th position, but now he finds himself inside the top 4.
And then, I think he had a really great run in Aragon. It's really, given him a tremendous confidence boost. And
nearly touching the back wheel of Danish then as he goes across the front of him. He loves a tough move into that part of the course, doesn't he? Goodness gracious me. We've got serious confidence in the front end to be able to do that. Iriarte, though, just fiercely determined. He knows at this stage in the season, Peter, 6 races left. 30 points the gap. He has
4 abreast. 5, 6, 7 abreast. My goodness gracious me.
And it's the Japanese rider of Zen Mitani who looks as though he's going to have the inside line into turn 1, but no, it's it's Morelli who cuts across the front of him, and Pratama is the one out front. Goodness.
Was on the green there, wasn't he? So he's got to watch that Veda if it looks suspiciously like he touched the green. And there is the number 95, the 17-year-old Argentine Marco Morelli, who has to do a long lap penalty.
Have we not seen it? Have we seen it on our TV screens? We've got it on our timing screens, but you know, we're not seeing what for.
No.
So you know that information would be good to have.
You know, what is it? The top 18 all
Yeah,
bunched
now
up,
he's
but
17th again.
Yeah, so he's way back at the end of that group.
It can't have been so fast that he just... Did he punt Carter off? I thought he was ahead of him at the time, but we'll have to find out after the race.
That's right.
And he's got a lot of work to do in 7 laps. Though, but that's about...
has the advantage.
Oh, yes, he does. No, not for long, though, because it's actually Beñat Fernandez as Leo Ramsdorfer looks on his outside, doesn't want to take anyone out. That is a very nice lad.
Yeah, but he's got in doing that, he's lost about 4 places.
Yeah.
You know, you are
the top 10 now. That's the best we've seen from him so far in his career.
You're on board with Hakan Danish on the 13 in 4th place at the moment as you go through the sweeping, climbing right-hander Beata 1 and 2, 180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour.
Carter Thompson did not actually
expert, so maybe he's taken some advice. Anyway, the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, who has the advantage now. Brian Riarte is up into 2nd place. That's the 16 of Joel Pons in the middle of the group there, and as you say, a much better ride than he's had all season so far.
Way as they come down to San Donato, the 32. Brilliant ride for the Indonesian as they're about 6 abreast into the first turn. This is Rookies Cup at its wildest.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say how brilliantly they're doing because that was fun. Has the advantage, but Brian Riarte right on his tail. Then comes the 13 of Hakan Danish and the 7 of Beñat Fernandez.
Lucas Brown has unfortunately crashed out on this lap. He's seemingly okay according to the timing screen. Out of this one as well, but up and walking away.
Yeah, but hopefully he'll be okay to have another go tomorrow. Well, Giulia Pucciolesi, as I say, the number 31 there.
From the back of the grid.
From the back of the grid, and here he is in 4th place.
Well then, still 12 minutes or so of racing to go, and it's still...
The Japanese. Oh, and now there's using everything, bits of paint, everything there. Out across the road, who is going to have the advantage? The 31 of Giulia Pucciolesi, the local hero, almost has the lead into the first corner, but in fact it isn't. It's Brian Riarte.
Very good job.
And this isn't what Brian Riarte wants to have, really, coming down towards the end of the race here. Because, you know, he's gone from 1st to 10th and back to 1st. He wants it to try to break it up if he possibly can. So he'll be putting in the laps as hard as possible now to see if he can get away from these guys.
Time of 2:01.0. So, you know, last time around, Ramadipa putting in a 2:02.7. I think that's why we've got such a big group of riders, Peter. I mean, a lot of them thinking about, you know, the slipstream down the start and finish straight, and perhaps no one...
Certainly not this weekend, what we've seen so far. Right. Coming down, there'll be just 4 laps remaining. There it is, the 51 of Brian Riarte moves across there. You can't do too much swinging around like that. That's not allowed, but just moving across is fine. You're on
third with Zen Mitani in 4th. That is in the background. That's Joel Pons who got pushed out wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, but let's hope he can get back on the group. But, I mean, you were on board with Hakan Danish. You saw all the punch around you, how tight it was. And still, he managed to outbreak everybody at the inside.
It's to Morelli starting to make a bit of a fight back.
It still is the number 13 of Hakan Danish, the points leader, who has the slightest advantage. But number 5 up the inside. Austria leads then. Leo Ramsdorfer, the 20-year-old Austrian, takes the advantage.
And now is he going to push right back across it? He's in 9th position now.
And Riarte's gone back to 8th. As you say, you know, you lead the race across the line and then end up back in 8th place. But the number 5 of Leo Ramsdorfer looking super cool out front now. I can't believe that it might be...
2:01, some of the late 2:01, some of the riders in this group, which means they've got a lot more speed in their pocket, which no one really wants to lead coming out that final corner, do they?
No, it's the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, the 17-year-old Spaniard who now has the slightest advantage. The 9 of Luca Agostinelli, who's in 7th place. You don't hear us talk about him too often, but he's part of the mix at the moment, looking for a podium place.
And off talented Vietnamese rider living in Italy. What a story that rather sensibly as Brian Ariarte dives up the inside once again. But Rally gets the switchback as they come into the Biondetti chicane right now. Benyat Fernandez with the lead ahead of Danish and Pratama. Zen Mitan is really boxed in there. Now coming across the line about 8th or so position, but he's going to get a massive slingshot down towards turn 1. Look at them all go. They'll all fan out, but then who will end up in P1? Brian Ariarte for now.
Brian Ariarte. Now, Benyat Fernandez did lead out of the last corner and he led across.
Christian Daniel Jr. started 3rd position. He's in 4th right now. He's been relatively quiet, sort of just sneakily going about it, not getting into touch wood too much trouble thus far. Now finds himself back in the premier position. He's certainly got some good speed about him. Maybe he was right. Maybe he's got something in hand coming on to the final laps.
Yeah.
Is the moment it starts to get really rather tense. This final lap in Mugello, it's going to be all about finding your position to go onto the front straight out of the final corner, the run to the line. No major weaving. We don't want any not going to like this. They're not going to enjoy that at all. That's not what they want to see.
It is the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. who leads the Rookies Cup race across the line onto the last lap here at Mugello, and alongside him is Zen Mitani, the Japanese, on the 34, and they fan out. It's about 6 abreast. Brian Ariarte has it, I think, ahead of him as Angustinelli. Ramersdorfer's there as well, so Brian has got some work to do on the last lap.
And they're starting to pull away piece. That lap last time around was a mid-2:02. That was rather slow, so they got some. Pratama leading the way, eking out all the corner speed that he possibly can, as we now come over the top of the hill, the highest point of the circuit, and down they come once again then into this right and left-hander.
And Pugliese is in 2nd place. There is the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
He's just over to 8.
And Veda Pratama has the slightest advantage, but can he afford to be in front at this stage? Behind him is the 31 of Pugliese, the Italian hero.
Right, this is the
31 of Pugliese is looking a bit slipsy. Veda Pratama has it though. He's no one's going to pass him surely before the finish. It's going to be Indonesia.
He's done it. He's done it. Pratama wins then. What a ride that was. He was the one who played it the most sensible. He was the craftiest and he has reaped the reward. Pratama wins in
Veda Ega Pratama kantongi bonus 200 juta rupiah usai 2 kemenangan beruntun. Menurut laporan KBRN, Veda Ega Pratama mendapatkan bonus sebesar 200 juta rupiah setelah sukses menyapu bersih 2 kemenangan di seri keempat Red Bull Rookies Cup di Mugello. Prestasi ini menjadi momentum besar bagi pembalap muda asal Gunung Kidul ini. Sikat 2 race di Mugello, sejarah baru Indonesia. Performa Veda yang menawan di Mugello, menang pada race 1, 21 Juni, dan race 2, 22 Juni, tidak hanya membangkitkan semangat nasional, tapi juga mencetak sejarah sebagai pembalap Indonesia pertama yang menang back-to-back di ajang Rookies Cup. Gelombang dukungan mengalir deras dari pecinta motorsport tanah air. Tidak mau cepat puas, sikap juang Veda. Liputan 6 melaporkan bahwa meskipun kini namanya sedang bersinar, Veda tidak mau cepat berpuas diri. Ia menegaskan bahwa fokusnya tetap pada persiapan menyambut seri berikutnya, termasuk ajang Junior GP Prancis. Sikapnya mencerminkan profesionalisme dan kedewasaan mental meski usianya masih belia. Siap tampil di Junior GP Prancis di Magny-Cours. Bola.com menyebutkan bahwa FIM dan Dorna Sports telah menetapkan Veda sebagai wakil Indonesia di kelas Junior GP musim 2025. Ia akan tampil di seri Prancis di Circuit de Nevers Magny-Cours, ajang yang menjadi tolok ukur menuju kelas MotoGP. Statistik klasemen dan proyeksi. Sebelumnya, pada kualifikasi Mugello, Veda meraih grid start P2 setelah mencatat waktu 1:59.926, hanya terpaut 0,109 detik dari pole position. Meski awalnya memimpin grid Aragon, ia sempat kehilangan podium karena kesalahan di tikungan ke-8, dan akhirnya finish P4. Namun itu jadi pelajaran penting menjelang seri berikutnya. Reaksi dari publik dukungan loyal. Di Indonesia, terutama melalui media sosial dan media massa, kemenangan Veda diminati halayak luas. Liputan 6 menyoroti stok kemenangan beruntun dan sikap rendah hati Veda. Detik.com juga mengangkat kisah ini, termasuk heningnya lagu Indonesia Raya berkali-kali di Mugello, menegaskan kebanggaan nasional. Ambisi besar ke Eropa dan MotoGP. Momentum cemerlang ini juga menjadi panggung bagi visi besar Veda ke depannya. Ia ingin terus maju menembus kelas Eropa, ya Moto3 hingga MotoGP. Target ini muncul menyusul keberhasilannya di Asia Talent Cup 2023 dan catatan gemilangnya di Asia Road Racing Championship. Ringkasan 5 poin utama saat ini. 1. Kemenangan ganda di Mugello bonus 200 juta rupiah dan sejarah baru. 2. Mentalitas juara, tidak cepat puas, tetap fokus dan profesional. 3. Langkah selanjutnya, siap tampil di Junior GP Prancis. 4. Pembelajaran dari kesalahan, grid P2 di Mugello dan finish P4 di Aragon. 5. Dukungan nasional, sorotan media, dukungan fans, dan semangat patriotik. Kesimpulan. Prestasi Veda Ega Pratama di Mugello bukan hanya momen gemilang secara individu, tapi juga inspirasi bagi banyak pembalap muda Indonesia. Kombinasi skill, mental kuat, dan dukungan finansial, ditambah semangat juang keras, membuat Veda jadi salah satu talenta terpanas di kancah balap motor dunia. Kini, semua mata diarahkan pada penampilannya di Junior GP Prancis dan potensi lonjakan karir ke MotoGP. Prestasi ini menjadi momentum besar bagi pembalap muda asal Gunung Kidul ini. Sikat 2 race di Mugello, sejarah baru Indonesia. Performa Veda yang menawan di Mugello, menang pada race 1, 21 Juni, dan race 2, 22 Juni, tidak hanya membangkitkan semangat nasional, tapi juga mencetak sejarah sebagai pembalap Indonesia pertama yang menang back-to-back di ajang Rockies Cup. Gelombang dukungan mengalir deras dari pecinta motorsport tanah air. Tidak mau cepat puas, sikap juang Veda. Liputan 6 melaporkan bahwa meskipun kini namanya sedang bersinar, Veda tidak mau cepat berpuas diri. Ia menegaskan bahwa fokusnya tetap pada persiapan menyambut seri berikutnya, termasuk ajang Junior GP Prancis. Sikapnya mencerminkan profesionalisme dan kedewasaan mental meski usianya masih belia. Siap tampil di Junior GP Prancis di Magny-Cours. Bola.com menyebutkan bahwa FIM dan Dorna Sports telah menetapkan Veda sebagai wakil Indonesia di kelas Junior GP musim 2025. Ia akan tampil di seri Prancis di Circuit de Nevers Magny-Cours, ajang yang menjadi tolok ukur menuju kelas MotoGP. Statistik klasemen dan proyeksi. Sebelumnya, pada kualifikasi Mugello, Veda meraih grid start P2 setelah mencatat waktu 1:59.926, hanya terpaut 0,109 detik dari pole position.